Ukraine produced 3 million attack drones in 2025. The U.S. Army historically procures 50,000 a year. FPV drones now account for 60 to 70% of all destroyed Russian equipment. Average kill cost, $700 to take out a $4 million tank. AeroVironment ran 157% in 9 months. Then corrected 55%. Welcome to the most violent compounding business in defense, and the most violent stock chart. Here's the part that doesn't add up. Drones became the most consequential weapon since the artillery shell. The biggest beneficiaries of the build-out can't be bought on the public market. Let's define it. A modern drone, a small unmanned aerial system, is 5 layers stacked. The airframe, carbon fiber or polymer for FPVs, aluminum for tactical. Propulsion, brushless motors and lithium polymer batteries, both today dominated by Chinese suppliers. Payload, camera, gimbal, EW transmitter, or warhead. Autonomy, the flight controller, GPS, IMU, and increasingly an AI accelerator like NVIDIA Jetson or Qualcomm Flight. The data link, radio, mesh network, or low Earth orbit satellite. A $500 FPV drone and a $4 million Valkyrie share the same 5 layers. The economics differ by 4 orders of magnitude. The Ukraine war made drones the new artillery in 18 months. Ukraine delivered roughly 3 million FPV attack drones in 2025, about 2.5 times the previous year. Production scaled from 20,000 units per month to 200,000. Russia is producing 2,700 Garand drones plus 2,500 Gerber decoys per month, over 6,000 combined by November 2025. According to RCAT, FPV drones now account for 60 to 70% of all destroyed Russian equipment. Average FPV unit cost, $300 to $700. A Russian T-90 tank, about $4 million. The kill ratio is 4 orders of magnitude in favor of the cheap drone. The lesson everyone in NATO now believes, the next war will use 10 times as many drones. 10 times. So how is the Pentagon responding? 2 programs to know. Replicator. Announced August 2023 by Deputy Secretary Hicks. Initial budget, about $500 million per year over fiscal 2024 and 2025, total around $1 billion. 30 prime contractors plus 50 subs were selected from 500 firms. The first Replicator 2 acquisition closed January 11, 2026. Drone dominance. Announced 2025. $1 billion. 30,000 drones at about $5,000 each, from 12 vendors. Pure attritable, pure FPV class. Then the counter-unmanned aircraft systems market. $6.6 billion in 2025, projected to $20.3 billion by 2030, 25% compound annual growth. JIATF 401 is the new Joint Counter-Drone Task Force as of August 2025. Who's listed? Start with the only pure play that consistently makes money. AeroVironment, ticker AVAV, fiscal 2025 revenue, $820 million. The flagship products, Switchblade loitering munition, Puma reconnaissance drone, Jump 20 midsize tactical drone. The big move, AVAV closed the BlueHalo merger on May 1, 2025. All stock, $4.1 billion enterprise value. AeroVironment shareholders own 60% of the combined entity, BlueHalo shareholders 40%. Fiscal 2026 pro forma revenue guide, $1.9 to $2 billion. Switchblade production ramping to 14,400 units per year. AVAV stock ran 157% from January 2025 to its October peak. Then corrected 55% into early 2026. Welcome to drone stock volatility. Now Kratos Defense, ticker KTOS. The bet here is reusable, jet-powered, Group 5 attritable drones. Fiscal 2025 revenue, $1.347 billion, up 16.6% organic. Backlog, $1.57 billion, record high. The hero product, the Valkyrie XQ-58. Current unit cost, $4 to $6 million. Target at 100 plus units per year, closer to 2 million. Kratos is in the bidding for the Air Force's Collaborative Combat Aircraft Increment 2, a wingman drone for the F-35 and B-21. Anduril and General Atomics already won Increment 1 in October and August 2025. The financing news: Kratos completed a $1.17 billion public equity raise in February 2026 at $84 per share, to fund the Nomad and Orbit acquisitions. Below the top two, the Wild West. Red Cat Holdings, ticker RCAT, Q3 revenue up 646% year-over-year, to $9.6 million. With a $16 million loss. Won the U.S. Army's Short-Range Reconnaissance Tranche 2 contract, about $35 million. Management credibility is the recurring question. ONDS Holdings, ticker ONDS, fiscal 2025 revenue $50.7 million, but Q4 alone was $30 million. 2026 target raised to over $375 million. Heavy IDF and Israeli infrastructure exposure. Mercury Systems, ticker MRCY, $912 million in revenue, up 9%. Picks and Shovels, RF and AI sensor processing for drone payloads. Unusual Machines, ticker UMAC, anti-DJI components, motors, flight controllers, ESCS, assembled in the U.S. Stock up 178% trailing 12 months. Now the civilian opportunity. DJI controls roughly 77 to 80% of the U.S. commercial drone market. The American Security Drone Act, Section 1709, was passed December 2024. Phase-out timeline: federal agencies had to complete national security review by December 23, 2025. None did. The FCC then added all foreign-made drones to the covered list in December 2025. Existing DJI drones are not grounded. New imports are blocked. The Blue UAS list, drones cleared for federal use, has fewer than 50 entries. Estimated U.S. civilian drone market opening, roughly $5 billion over 5 years. The DJI replacement opportunity is real, but mostly going to private players: Skydio, Brink, Anduril. The wallet you can't buy publicly. Anduril Industries, $30.5 billion valuation in their June 2025 Series G, doubled in 9 months. Co-developing the Barracuda autonomous cruise missile with Rainmetal. Skydio, $4.4 billion valuation in their April 2026 Series F, won an Army Short-Range Reconnaissance Tranche 2 contract for $7.9 million. Shield AI, $5.6 billion. General Atomics, family-owned, never IPO, makers of Predator, Reaper, Gambit. These 4 private companies are bigger than every listed pure-play combined. The biggest beneficiary of the entire defense drone capex cycle is currently inaccessible to public market investors. The landscape on one screen. 10 companies. What jumps out? AeroVironment +BlueHalo is the only US-listed drone pure-play with profitability and scale, close to $2 billion in pro forma revenue. Kratos is the second name, with $1.3 billion and a Real CCA bet. Then a long fall, Red Cat at less than $10 million. ONDS at $50 million scaling fast. Unusual Machines at low single digits with a big stock chart. Mercury Systems and Palantir are the picks and shovels, sensor processing and Mosaic OS, Elbit Systems, the Israeli combat-proven Hermes maker, at $7.9 billion in revenue. eVTOL crossover, EHang at $73 million, just hit GAAP profitability. Joby at $53 million revenue, $2.5 billion in cash. Archer pre-revenue with $2 billion in cash. What happens next? Most likely path: drone defense stocks bifurcate into fewer than 5 winners and 10 or more zeros through 2026. Probability that AeroVironment +BlueHalo combined generates over $3 billion in revenue by fiscal 2027, in my view, around 50%. Probability that another small-cap drone pure-play, Red Cat, ONDS, or Unusual Machines, gets acquired or delists by end of 2027, around 60%. Probability of a Replicator 3 program of $3 billion or more announced by end of 2026, around 55%. Watch 3 signals. AeroVironment +BlueHalo combined backlog growth. Above $2 billion by Q3 fiscal 2026 confirms the thesis is intact. Quarterly Replicator and Drone Dominance Contract Awards published by DoD. Above 200 million per quarter, the pipeline is real. Below 50 million, it's stalling. DJI Section 1709 Enforcement Timeline. The Blue UAS exemption gets extended past January 1, 2027, the U.S. civilian opportunity stays theoretical. Catalysts up, CCA Increment 3, further DJI restrictions, AUKUS Pillar 2 drone collaboration. Catalysts down, Ukraine ceasefire collapsing FPV demand cycle, small-cap drone bankruptcy contagion, Pentagon budget compression. Upstream, NVIDIA Jetson, Qualcomm, lithium cells, carbon fiber, brushless motors. Downstream, every NATO army, every drone buying ministry, every airport counter-UAS budget. They sit downstream of these 11 names. The next war uses 10 times as many drones. The biggest winners aren't on the exchange. The next biggest are these 11. I'm Big Z, follow me, see you in the next deep dive.